Welcome to The View, y'all. Welcome to The View. Nicole has the day off, and joining us as guest co-host is the fabulous and amazing Kelly Osbourne. And we just walked out to One Direction's Drag Me Down, which apparently is breaking records all over the world right now. And just a couple of hours ago, they were on GMA in Central Park, and Michelle and Raven were there. And was it everything that you hoped it would be?
Oh my God, Whippy, you have no idea.
Tell me everything.
You see my glow? I hugged Harry Styles, gals. I'm like, I can still shake it from Harry. This is like my natural. Wait, there we are. There's Raven.
What are you wearing on your face?
This is the thing. I've decided so that when Michelle and I go out and interview people, I don't need to show my face. I'm wearing a mask. And so it's just
people still know it's you because your hair is a
the hair, darling, is always going to give you away. Trust me, I know. I mean, I'll live.
Why be on television?
I'm on television here. Okay.
Right, but you would be on television if you had the interview and we'd actually know it was you. You could be anybody up under there.
But wait.
I mean, how do we know? How do we know? Right?
You'll know when you see the interview. When you see the interview, it's me.
Did you take your clothes off?
I did. Also, I'm so sorry. I couldn't help myself. I truly ripped it like the Hulk. I did this, and it was. We have actually some footage. We interviewed the band. I'm still freaking out.
And some of the fans too.
Yeah, the fans
I don't know
are great.
if they put it in.
Right.
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Hey
guys, we are here at the One Direction concert. We're flanked by fans. My wallet's been stolen. I can't wait to meet the band and talk to these guys. Let's go.
I've got fire for a heart.
Look at all these girls. Would you tear it open for him? I would tear it open. You're out of your mind. That has to cost at least $25. I mean, how dare you? What did you bring with you?
I didn't even eat breakfast.
You didn't eat breakfast? You look great. Very thin. Congrats.
Is that Raven?
I'm not allowed to. That's just my entrance for the day. Would you throw all these other girls in here? I have finally found a man my size here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Harry Styles I could get with. Now we're going to go talk to One Direction. Well, I am so happy we are finally here with the band. Guys, One Direction, how are you guys doing? Harry! I don't like to make up lies, but he looked at me! Guys, he wakes up, he rolls out of bed like this, girls. Who wouldn't like to be there when that happens? Do it, girl. I want to first of all let you guys know I'm extremely fertile. I'm younger than I look, and I'm so you have the bird, the rowboat, and the dinosaur. They all sound vaguely sexual to me. But can you give us an illustration? You want to know what? Crown it up, girl. They were amazing. I'm in love. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the show. We didn't even hear them say a word, by the way.
No, I have no idea what they said, but the best thing is some girl came up to me and was like, you almost look like Rihanna. Almost.
What? Isn't that funny?
I was like, thanks?
How dare she?
I have to say, can I say, you guys did a wonderful job. Wonderful, wonderful job. And you are just made for that. You were just in your element.
Thank you,
in a live crowd like that.
That's my favorite thing, like being here, honestly, having people who respond and are having a good time. And I also want to let everyone know that you should stay tuned online because we're going to release the entire interview so you can actually hear what they said.
Dynamic duo over here.
Yes, the two of us. And Rosie, that's so sweet. See some more photos on our Instagram at ABC The View. We're gonna have pictures, more interviews. So we were losing our minds, basically.
I had a great time. We met some amazing people. The fans were fantastical. It reminded me of back in the days with NSYNC, because you know I'm from NSYNC.
I know. And see when you can go out and put your visor up, I like the visor up because it made you look like the Queen of the Nile that I believe you are.
Thank you very much.
Kelly, do you know them? Are you friends with them?
I've known them since they started on X Factor. I would say that I'm friends with Harry, much the other members of the band.
Was there beef there? Be honest. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Tell me about Harry. What is he like as a friend?
He's just he's a really nice, normal guy, considering the situation that he's in. You would expect him to be a little bit more affected.
Yeah.
Which
and
one's
he's
Harry?
not.
With the hair.
The one whose hair I
The
touched.
long hair.
Yeah.
The one that she found the light with Harry.
That one.
Harry,
Yeah.
Harry.
Life-sized.
Heavy, happy.
I'll
That's
remember
how you
Harry,
deal with it. But listen, you know,
so wrong.
That's hilarious.
it did, but we're all right with it. We knew what you meant. Listen, you know, Amy Schumer has done something kind of extraordinary, I think, in the wake of this movie theater shooting that happened during the screening of Trainwreck. She took the stage yesterday with her cousin, Senator Chuck Schumer, to make an impassioned plea for gun control. Take a look.
We're here today to say enough is enough to mass shootings in our schools, our college campuses, our military bases, and even in our movie theaters. These shootings have got to stop. I don't know how else to say it. We have common sense solutions. We can toughen background checks and stop the sale of firearms to folks who have a violent history or a history of mental illness. We can invest more in treating mental illness instead of slashing funding. These are not extreme ideas. These are my first public comments on the issue of gun violence, but I can promise you they will not be my last.
I thought this was fantastic. This is fantastic. Every time there's a mass shooting in our country, in the United States, politicians get to the mic, they say this has to stop. There's never really comprehensive, a comprehensive design of how we can address the problem. And what I really appreciated about this news conference that they held, this press conference, is that they didn't say we shouldn't have any guns. They didn't say we need to take our amendment right to have guns. What they're saying is we need laws in place so that this can stop. And the number one issue, most of the times when there is mass shooting, especially in schools, now in theaters, it's done by somebody who is mentally ill. And for them to put that in there, and other people have, but I thought that it was very impactful. And I know a lot of people say that celebrities shouldn't do something. Well, I'm glad she did. And you know what?
I think what's really, you know, I don't want to say that there's like any sort of silver lining because it's such a tragic situation, but I think in this case, you know, Amy is so funny, and her show already approaches a lot of social topics that are taboo. So, and the fact that her cousin happens to just be the senator of New York, Chuck Schumer, here's really an opportunity for some change to happen.
Exactly.
I hope.
Well, you know,
really hope.
let us not forget that the one group that really has blocked every piece of gun legislation that comes out has been the NRA.
Yeah.
You know, and because that's all right, you know, because the NRA feels that any kind of conversation about what to do about it means that you can't have guns. No, if you're a responsible owner, have your guns.
Yeah.
Have them. Because there's no reason for us not to know who you are if you're responsible.
Exactly.
Why you need an AK-47? You're not hunting with it because, you know, you hit someone with an AK-47, all that's left is dust. So I don't understand that, but, you know, there are conversations to be had. So if you believe that change can happen, perhaps you just want to write to the folks who are in power over at the NRA.
Yeah.
You know, let them know that the people are saying we need a change.
Also, your congressmen and senators.
Yeah.
Congressmen and senators have the ability to make this happen as well. And like I said, there's a lot of lip service and nothing happens.
If they change their approach and make it so that people are aware that no one's trying to take your gun away from you,
Which they did.
we're just trying to make it so that mentally ill people don't have guns.
But we've had this issue for so long, and nothing has
give it
happened.
a driver's license to
There's
somebody
too
who can
many.
drive.
This is very true, but still, that needs to be worked out as well. I think you need to. That's a whole other thing. In gun world, I think that people. This is my conspiracy theorist idea. There's too much stuff happening underneath the table and doors, which is why nothing can get through.
Well, that was her point.
That's
That's
what I'm saying, because there is a very strong, the gun lobby is huge, and they have the cojones of you can't believe
Just like the food lobbying people.
I don't know if they're as strong, because when you have something like what happened in Connecticut, in Sandy Hook, and the parents are there saying, listen, So we need to work on this for mentally ill folks. We need to work on these things. And the NRA says you're just playing on heartstrings. There's a problem. Yeah. And it's not the Senate. It's specifically my opinion only. And please don't email me ugly, nasty stuff.
Because you don't care.
Well, not even that I don't care. It's just
her opinion.
Something has to happen. We can't go on this way. And if you guys step up, and we all step up and say, let's try to work this out, maybe something will happen. But as long as that X is there, nothing's going to change.
Okay, I'm
we got to go. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics. Sorry,
Trump gets trumped. Who just took a page from Donald's playbook by publishing his personal cell phone number.
There's a news story coming out of Algeria that claims a groom is suing his wife for fraud after he saw her without makeup for the very, very, very first time, the day after their wedding. Now, this comes as no surprise because folks have sued over weaves and everything else, but makeup, what do you think?
There's a really, really interesting pre-makeup and after makeup tutorial on YouTube. I actually sent it to you a long time ago. And this girl looks, she did not look like the same person whatsoever. She changed her jaw structure, she changed her nose shape, and it's possible. That's what contouring. Painting is for. I'm not surprised that he did that. And women shouldn't have to do that every day. You should learn.
I would counter-sue him if I was her.
You should try or learn to love yourself.
You know that I'm like a Sephora. They carry me into Sephora like in ancient Greece when I go there.
Every time I've ever seen you, you have never not had a face that is fully done.
I look like Val Kilmer without makeup. Some man gonna sue me one day. You wash my face and it's like fat Val. I love him to death, by the way. But I get it. I can understand. My mother also does a full face, and my dad is now used to it. Lash, brow, don't even ask.
You could marry someone and you don't know what they look like without makeup on.
Yeah.
How do you get to that point? If it's an arranged marriage or religious reasons, then I understand, but I'm sorry, you bought it, you can't take it back.
There was a country artist, I don't want to say her name because I don't know if it's true, this is what I heard. It was a rumor that a country artist would wake up every morning and do her face so that her husband didn't know what happened, and then she would go to bed and take the face off. Like, people
it's like
do
a
that.
Nicolas Cage movie, Face Off.
It's amazing to me how much people put power on what they paint their face as.
But I believe that women don't put makeup on for men anymore. Women put makeup on for other women.
Which is even worse.
To me, it's not a mask. It's just a confidence booster. That's all.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to completely change who you are. It's just supposed to, hide the zit, give you a little bit of confidence, good eyebrows.
I never knew this.
Wait, when this guy, by the way, when he saw her, he didn't recognize her. He thought that she was a thief that broke into the apartment.
No.
That is how different this bitch look, okay? I'm sorry. Like, that's gotta be some Groucho.
It has to happen with the hair thing. The hair thing makes me crazy.
The hair thing's
really.
The weave thing. Now, come on. You know that we are not born with blonde hair.
Or blue hair.
Well, you're born with blue hair. I buy that. But I mean, just, this cascading blonde hair, that's not coming, it's not even, possible. Please, please. And then have the nerve to do a hair commercial. Please.
Did I tell you I loved you today? Did I tell you I loved you?
But see, y'all are thinking about something totally different. I'm simply saying, what's wrong with how we look? Makeup is the same issue for me. And, no one ever thought I was going to compete with Halle Berry, and I don't. But it's like, I have always looked like this, and this is it. When you wake up in the morning, you're still going to see this. Right?
The problem that most people have nowadays is that they're seeking an unrealistic idea of what beauty is. It doesn't exist. There is no such thing as perfection. And until women can sit down and be like, this is me and I'm okay with me, they'll never truly be beautiful anyway.
That's like post-Kardashian era. That's like 100 years from now. Because as long as those girls, as long as we see them
getting married.
Truly.
It's hard, though, because you might wake up and watch this show and be like, oh, my goodness, not knowing that we have to wake up 2 hours beforehand to look this way. I mean,
Not me. I roll out of bed, and it looks like it. I roll out of bed, And maybe it takes like a minute and a half. They have an Earl Scheib machine, and they missed a little color to make me even. And lipstick, that's it.
And that's why her skin is like butter. Her skin is
It's like
butter.
what?
It's butter.
Butter.
It's butter. For sure it's butter.
Or if I say butter.
It's like butter.
It's like butter.
I like butter. Do you know that anyone reading the gossip sites would think it's breakup season in Hollywood?
Yes.
But we would much rather talk about your folks who have been together for 33 years.
Yes, they have.
You know, when people talk about a marriage, an entertainment marriage, a marriage that's in the public, I always think of your folks. There are like 4 or 5 couples that have been together forever that I always think, well, as long as they're still rocking and rolling, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't mean to say I have a relationship or anything, but I don't. But it's a choice. It's a choice. But what do you think is the key to their marriage?
God only knows that part of it, because they're both a bit nuts, and I love them for it. But the thing is, marriage and love is work. It's not a fantasy. It's not a fairy tale. It becomes a fairy tale when you put the work into it. And people don't realize that. You have to take time to make sure that you are not just taking care of yourself, because that's always important, but making sure that you're taking care of your partner as well. I mean, my mum met my dad when she was 15, and he came into my grandfather's record company and management office in pajamas and the kitchen faucet, as you say here, or I say tap, on a necklace that was made out of a shoestring.
Oh my God.
And my mum was terrified of him, and then here I am.
But you know what, you're right with work, because a lot of the relationships that you see, because you guys started the reality show
We're the
business.
only family in reality TV that has never got divorced.
Wow. That's good.
And I mean, you know, there's no secret. It's all of our stuff we put in, like, we don't lie, we don't keep secrets, because the more skeletons you have in your closet, the more people will dig, and the more it will just be a pain in the butt later. Like, just, if you make a mistake, own it. It's the only way you can learn and teach other people to learn too. And we are the furthest thing away from perfect.
You right, bitch. Welcome back. So, Donald Trump is still leading in the polls. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? And he's positive that his poll numbers are just going to keep on rising. Take a look.
Here you have a black president who's done very poorly for the African Americans in this country. And I think that I will win the African American vote, and I think I will win the Hispanic vote. And if you see the recent polls that came out, John, you'll see that, because I'm leading in the Hispanic vote.
Yes.
So I'm going to let Rosie, hold up, you're going to like this. I'm going to let Rosie tell you all this part. Go ahead, baby.
Yes, I don't need a card for this, but thank you very much. But the latest poll taken by Telemundo, Mr. Trump, and the Wall Street Journal showed that 75% of Latinos do not like you. Okay? They have a negative view on Trump. That's what the polls show. And let me just give you some more specific polls. 61% that said they view him very negatively. Only 13%, so you got a little fans, say they view you in a positive way. But 50% of Latino voters found his immigration rhetoric offensive, and 55% agreed that his comments about Mexico insulting and racist and have no place in a campaign for president.
All right. He also just had his campaign tactics used against him. The website Gawker just posted his personal cell phone number. You know, he released Lindsey Graham's. And so what he's saying is, oh, that's not really my phone number.
Please.
I bet it was.
It was
They're
his number.
acting like children. They are acting like children. The children that we were told not to act like, that parents chastise us for everything. You guys are acting like children. It's ridiculous.
That's why I don't want them following his... I can't even say it.
One question.
We kill Whoopi.
In what way does he think that people are going to vote for him after he's just called them rapists and murderers?
It's only 50%. I got to say, I was shocked when you read that. I'm like, why isn't it that 100%?
75% have a negative view.
But how could you not think that that's racist? Like, how could only half of the people be like, that's fine?
I have a conspiracy theory for you, Raven.
He's a narcissist.
I have a feeling that what is going on is that he is just drumming up all of this following, and he's going to pull out right before.
I don't like when you say it like that, I'll be honest. Don't talk about Trump pulling out, because I'm about to... I have to say
no pun intended, and he's going to get all of his voters to vote for the other Republicans.
No pun intended, I'm a psychic. I said that a long time ago.
Here's the thing, with Latinos, in fairness, you have a very good point, though. There are a lot of Latinos here in this country that do agree that the immigration problem is a problem, and it does need to be addressed, and it does need to be fixed.
That's interesting.
But making those comments, those racist comments, do not help.
And if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm saying
there's more jobs to be
in LA, they always...
But
they
Latinos are not only the only people
I didn't mean it like that. Come on. No, I would never mean it like that.
Okay.
Like, I'm not part of this argument with...
I think what you're saying is that Trump himself
needs to look out
probably relies on a lot of these people that he's insulting.
I think, you know what? Donald Trump, like many people, says a lot of stuff for zing.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he means it. I will only start to care if he means it if we get closer to this election and he's still on top.
I don't think he still will be.
But I'm hoping that there is so much time to come between now and the time that we push the button to say who is going to be our next president, that people will get a better idea of who he is behind all the rhetoric. Yeah. Because it's like the marriage. You have to really work at becoming our president. We don't just hire people just because. And just not for nothing, Barack Obama has done quite a bit for America.
Yeah.
Okay? And so, to try to speak to how black people feel about him, Donald, I'm not sure you're the right person to be doing that, so I'm just going to erase that like you never said it.
Can I just say this? Or just because he's black doesn't mean he has to help all the black people in the world. He's America's president. There's different colors here, and it doesn't matter what color you are to actually make it happen.
Yeah, and you know what you said about Donald? I hope he didn't mean it because, like I said, when I did meet him, I found him to be a lovely man. And I apologize to you, Kelly, because I am Latino and I'm just very sensitive when it comes to that issue. I was so offended by what he said. I did not mean to that.
Use the cell phone number and call
I didn't call him. I didn't call him. I should have called him.
I mean, I'm offended by what he said. Everything he says is offensive, but when I've met him, he's nice, so
he's a nice guy.
It's interesting. It's going to go on. Stand up.
Bing, bing. Thank you.
Can we talk about what you're wearing?
Today.
Raven.
Yes, ma'am.
Please tell everybody who designed this, baby.
Kelly Osbourne Stories designed this. This is for girls who have curves and don't have curves. It's for every girl in every body. She provides me with clothes for the show a lot, and I thank you for that. She's a very smart woman.
You're going to make me cry.
Tweet her, come for her on the Instagram. We know you're thinking about it. Don't do it.
Oh, I don't care. Everyone's got the right to their own opinion.
But here's the thing. We're going to tell you how you can find Kelly's clothes because she designs for every female body size and shape.
My mission is to make fashion fair and take the shaming of women because they're not all a size 0 away.
All right, and on fashion, you know, the little ear doesn't work all the time. On fashion, did you guys watch yesterday? You know, we have View Your Deal. So, all of the amazing things that you saw with Stacey London, and we gagged over them. I mean, she took the knives, are still available until 3 p.m. Eastern today while supplies last. So don't forget to go to our website right now and get them before you missed out because they're fantastic.
Yes, and don't forget to come and look on our website also for information on where to find Kelly's clothes, y'all. We're going to go and come right back with the amazing and fabulous Nancy Grace.
Your new windows.
Been chock full of crimes and court cases making headlines and blowing up online. So right now, we're going to get the inside scoop from HLN's Nancy Grace. Hey.
Hello, ladies.
All right. We have some questions for you and some topics. Okay, first of all, I'm ready. You ready? People all over the globe are fired up about the death and shooting of Cecil the Lion by the dentist. What's his name? Walter Palmer. And now another doctor has been accused
by... A gynecologist. Just hold that image.
He's a dentist, I thought.
No, the first one is a dentist.
There's now a gynecologist?
A gynecologist.
I have a very dirty joke today. Continue.
Look, he was in Zimbabwe National Parks and Wildlife Authority. They allegedly said that he shot all these animals. What's going on with that?
Okay, this is what's happening. We've got one dentist. Now think of that. That's my least favorite thing. No offense, dentist, going to the dentist. And this guy is now implicated in shooting the most famous lion in Zimbabwe. He was part of an Oxford University study, minding his own business, living on a preserve with his family. When they got a dead animal, roped it down, roped it to the back of a vehicle, dragged it to make Cecil come off the preserve so they could shoot him with a bow and arrow, track him for 40 hours as he's wounded, finally shoot him in the head and cut his head off. Why? So they can put it up on the dentist wall, which apparently he's got all tricked out a bar with a bunch of dead animal heads on the wall.
Now, did they use the meat at all?
Nobody's been cooking up the lion meat that I've heard about. Now, here's the thing. He paid nearly $60,000 to go on this. Okay, now Zimbabwe is claiming that there is an American gynecologist. Just think about it. Dentists and gynos and bears. Oh my!
It's like so many instruments. I can't even keep them all straight.
He was absolutely a participant with another trick in Zimbabwe. So I'm waiting to see. There is a 10-year and $20,000 fine if he gets extradited and convicted in Zimbabwe.
Can he be charged?
We're going to wait and find out if they actually formally charge him. They say they want to talk to him, but we do have an extradition pact with Zimbabwe.
This is what video games are for. This is why you just play video games.
Don't say video games. Twins, no iPads and video games right now, N-O, because I know they're watching. My twins.
Her was like, video games are awesome. Okay, so a little sensitive to me. Bobby Christina Brown. She had a very similar death to her mother.
Yes.
And something else is going on where a picture of her has surfaced.
That's right.
Like her mother's picture after she was already gone.
In the casket.
Pardon, what?
Yes, Bobby Christina, who died.
Are people really that ill?
Yeah.
Well, listen, now people are arguing that it may be a family member that took it at the funeral.
Because one of the aunties left the funeral and was popping off at the mouth at another aunt. I'm going crazy. Is this legal? Can they get charged?
Okay, number one, it is a private function. If people are in there and they're bringing their cell phones, there's not a law against snapping a picture. So it is not illegal. There's not a law against being tacky and rude and obnoxious.
It's very tacky.
So also, who's going to sue? Bobby Christina's not going to sue, but what about this? I was thinking about this last night. What about family members suing for intentional infliction of emotional distress for publishing that picture? That could be a line of suit. I don't know if it'll work, but the picture apparently is going for 6 figures, like $100,000, $200,000.
I don't think anyone should ever click that link and look at that. I think
they did it
really
to Whitney
evil.
too. Same thing to Whitney.
I can't. I can't. Let me. Go
ahead, baby.
The next one. Let's do this one before we leave. The U.S. Marshals had a big victory last week, right?
Yeah,
they arrested two fugitives.
A mom and her boyfriend molesting her daughters with the mom in the room on the run for 20 years. They finally busted them living in Utah. They're going down.
How did they last that long?
They had assumed identities and they moved from California to Utah and were living completely different identities.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
That's absolutely.
But they got you.
On a lighter note, Nancy, how are the twins?
My twins are 7. They're going to the 2nd grade and I'm crying. There they are. They're in my Stop it. There they are. That was this last Sunday outside of church. I was trying to get in the picture. There you go. Oh, is that the same shirt I have on?
I love this entire segment. Thank you so much for coming on today. I learned a lot.
Ladies of The View.
You're everything. Our thanks to Nancy Grace. Her HLN show airs weeknights. We'll be right back.
Really, you're like a Just for Men ad. I feel very safe next to you. No. Dr. Besser, I'm very excited to meet you. I think we all are, because you know that the city's dealing with this outbreak of Legionnaire's disease. Yeah. And you actually ran the Legionnaire's disease unit for the CDC. So what can you tell us about it? What is it? Why does it sound so fancy, I guess is my question.
Yeah, so, I mean, Legionnaire's disease, it causes a very severe pneumonia. There's a big outbreak going on here in New York City. More than 80 people with this. 7 people have died. But a few things about this. It's not contagious. You don't get it from other people. You get it from something called Legionella bacteria, which grows up often in the summer. It multiplies in slime in the inside of pipes. Right. And so outbreaks have been caused by these big cooling towers that are on the top of buildings, sometimes from whirlpool spas. And so you have to
I am never getting in one of those again, ever.
Yeah. I'm going back to England.
I'm like, no.
Like central AC units for homes?
Yeah, so it doesn't happen in home, which is an important thing. You don't get it from tap water. But the New York City Health Department is scrambling to try and figure out what's going on here. So they've interviewed all the people to try and figure out what they have in common. But what they did was really cool. They mapped them out on a map, and they saw where they were occurring. Then they used Google Earth to find every cooling tower in the South Bronx in that area.
Favorite app.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And then they've tested them, and they found that 5 cooling towers in that area of the Bronx have this bacteria, and they're cleaning them up.
How do you stop it? I'm sorry. How do you?
Well, hopefully by cleaning those cooling towers, they're going to knock this thing out. But the incubation period, the time from when you're exposed to getting sick, can be 10 days. So they're not going to know for another 5 days whether they've nailed it.
Why is it? Because this has happened once or twice before with us. Yeah. So we know that this is how it happens. Why isn't there a thing that happens in the city where, like, you have to inspect the rest of your buildings? Why don't you have to inspect it? If you know that the Legionnaires comes in here and that it's coming out of the mist on the top of the building, why not check it?
Well, yeah, I think that's a really good point. Well, I mean, up till now, they've relied on the buildings to do it and saying you're responsible for doing this testing. But just last night, the mayor said that they're going to implement that kind of program.
Because they do it for mold and smog and things like that. Why? I just don't understand why they wouldn't already do this and implement it, even though technically, yes, it was a dead disease until now. Yeah. That would have been something they just kept up on.
Well, the buildings are supposed to keep it up, but clearly with 3 outbreaks in 2 years, they're not doing enough. So they're saying the city's going to inspect, which I think is a good way to go.
I want to, speaking of disease, last week a report came out.
Yes.
That the waters where the Olympians will be competing in and swimming and boating event next summer in South America are filled with human sewage. I mean, which represents a serious health problem. What can these athletes and the visitors that are going to go to the Olympics do? What are we talking about here?
This is really, I mean, I'm an infectious disease guy, and this is something that I find to be absolutely disgusting and unacceptable. So the Associated Press did testing of the water in Rio, where they're going to be 1,400 athletes who are sailors, marathon swimmers, triathletes. They're going to be in this water. What they found was it contains raw sewage, bacteria, viruses. And what's happening is athletes are going there now hoping that they get sick and then they're immune for next summer. And that's just not the way.
It's going to work?
Yeah, I don't know. That's not going to work. There's just too many things that can be in there that can cause really bad.
You would think the billions they have, like the IOC, could actually go through and like put a filter in, you know?
It's exactly. Why don't they dredge and re-pour?
Well,
why
it's not
can't
dredging.
they do
They
that?
have to put in a sewage treatment plant. And when Rio got the bid for the Olympics, they said that they were going to clean up their sewage. They were going to clean up their water. And they haven't done it. And they said they're not going to have it done in time for next summer.
When are they supposed to get it done before the World Cup?
I don't know if it was part of the World Cup plan because...
I thought it was just the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a very entertaining luge or whatever. I mean, just watching these athletes come out of the sewage
Is it
water.
corruption? Because shouldn't the money that was allocated for that be accounted for?
I think so. I think this is something that they're going to have to either look for an alternate venue or do something to clean it up because you can't put people at risk by going to that water.
Why not? You know, maybe the idea is to always have the city you name and then the city you go to if they don't do what they're supposed to do. So both cities are getting ready at the same time because thank you.